Xbox just achieved something they've never been able to do in the history of ever. What's up, y'all, and welcome to Xbox Ready, my YouTube channel that is all about Xbox. I'm Ray. You know how this goes. If you've been following me for a while, I get on here multiple times a week to talk the latest Xbox news, rumors, games, accessories, pretty much anything I want to talk about as long as it's about Xbox in some way. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how Xbox has hit a huge milestone, how they're saving PlayStation, that's right, saving PlayStation, and what it all means for you as an Xbox fan. How many videos have you seen, even as an Xbox fan, I assume you're an Xbox fan since you clicked on this channel, that have something to do with Xbox is dead, it's over, it's done, whether it's a YouTube video, an article, a tweet, some sort of variation of Xbox is dead, or they're dying, or they're gonna exit the gaming business. There's not gonna be any more Xbox consoles. They're gonna go the way of Sega after the Dreamcast. If you're anything like me, it's like every other day I get served stuff like that. After the Xbox One generation, oh, it's over. They start Gen 9, oh, it's over because they're focusing on Game Pass versus selling consoles, and they're still getting outsold by PlayStation. Oh, they're going multi-platform, it's over, Xbox is done. They closed down this studio, Xbox is done. Especially when it comes to the multi-platform stuff, Xbox has been getting a lot of flack, both from hardcore fans and just casual game enjoyers alike. As long as I've been alive, exclusives have sold consoles. That's how it works. Until Xbox, of course, decided to turn all of that on its head and release some of its biggest franchises onto rival platforms. I certainly had my opinions of it, again, as a long-standing Xbox fan when they first started doing that stuff. Since then, I don't know, honestly, I've moved on because there's all sorts of other stuff happening in my life, and I've gotten to see firsthand the joy that these previous exclusive Xbox games can bring once they go to other platforms. Honestly, it's pretty cool to see. I'm on like a hope, doing good kick ever since I saw Superman, so that's the kind of train I'm on. But from the moment they decided to port their previously exclusive games over to PlayStation, over to Nintendo, the question has been, how is this gonna affect their business? Many theorize that it would dilute the Xbox brand, lead to a decrease in console sales, and in a worst case scenario, Xbox would die. But it turns out after all of that rhetoric, all of the video essays dissecting Xbox's moves, asking what the hell is going on with Xbox, all of the Twitter experts weighing in, it seems that Microsoft's multi-platform Xbox decision has paid off immensely, to the point where they're breaking records, they're doing things that they have never been able to do in the entire history of Xbox, and yes, that includes the glory days of the Xbox 360. Xbox full year financial results are in, and they delivered 23.45 billion. I'm trying to be specific. Sometimes y'all are on me in the comments about, omitting a billion or two here and there. So the number is 23.45 billion in annual revenue for Microsoft's gaming division, Xbox. This is an all-time high for them. They've never made this much money before in the history of their brand. This was driven by a 16% increase in Xbox content and services, including Game Pass, we'll get back to that later, and of course that Activision Blizzard Call of Duty bump. But they did see another decline in hardware revenue, 25%. Going back to the Game Pass stuff, that's also setting records for revenue made. Game Pass generated $5 billion in revenue over a 12-month period that ended June 30th, which honestly is not surprising considering the absolute tear that Game Pass has been on over the past like 6, 7, 8 months. That would include the period of Black Ops 6 getting added, Stalker 2, Indiana Jones, South of Midnight, Avowed, Doom the Dark Ages, Oblivion Remaster, Expedition 33, and so many other games. A few months ago, I made a video saying, well, if Game Pass doesn't make money, doesn't generate subscribers after that run, I don't really know what can. And it turns out that it's doing the job. Xbox isn't just setting records for itself, though, for its own personal history. No, they're breaking records over on other platforms as well. Xbox published games are accounting for 60% of the Q2 top 10 game sales spots on the PlayStation Store. Look at this chart. Look at the top selling games on PlayStation right now. Forza Horizon 5, Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered, MLB The Show, show, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Indiana Jones the Great Circle, Minecraft. Outside of MLB The Show, you have to go all the way down to number 8 in the rankings here to get past an Xbox published game. So why should you care about Microsoft and Xbox making a ton of money? Well, here are my takeaways. As someone who's been covering Xbox for a while now, it seems that Xbox is firing on all cylinders. They may have made some controversial moves, they may have made some pivots, but it seems to be paying off, at least financially. And judging by all the really solid games I've got to play over the past 6-7 months that have been published by Xbox, I would say that it's working out for fans as well. The multi-platform strategy, the ABK merger, for as difficult and for the amount of growing pains that they went through with both of these things, it seems to have paid off. And yes, they did admit that hardware revenue is down, and that's driven by the fact that they're not selling as many Xbox consoles. They're approaching PlayStation levels of revenue while having, half the amount of units out in the market right now, which is something that other companies are definitely going to take notice of. We know that PlayStation is interested in doing some more multi-platform releases for their own games. And no matter how many people say Xbox consoles are dead, Xbox hardware is dead, at this point it really doesn't matter because Microsoft and Xbox have proven that they can be successful business-wise without pushing a bunch of Xbox consoles. The pressure is off the hardware division. They'll still be around even if their sales dip or if they come out with any new hardware and they flop, which in many ways frees them up to do some really interesting stuff. Take some cool, weird swings with their hardware, like, I don't know, make it a PC console hybrid, like all these rumors are suggesting. Game Pass is bumping, I'm really happy about that. It's a little suspect that, well, they're not updating us on the total subscriber numbers. If they want to flex the money, the revenue generated, why not flex the amount of subscribers that you've gained since we've got that 34 million number? But honestly, I don't really care at the end of the day. The more that I think about it, I don't care how many people are subscribed to Game Pass. I don't honestly care how much money it makes because it's still a great deal. I'm getting a lot of value out of it. But if Game Pass can continue to make record amounts of revenue every year, that will in turn have a good, positive, trickle-down effect for fans, for subscribers. If it keeps generating this amount of money, Xbox will continue to be like, hey, this is something that people like. Let's continue investing in it by continuing to put games day one onto the service. Not just our games, but partnering up with some other really cool third-party partners. And I imagine it'd be a lot easier to approach people and pitch, hey, you should have your game on Game Pass. You should put it on day one, the day it releases. Why? Because it'll make a ton of money, we'll give you a bunch of money, and then there'll be a whole new crop of fans that get to experience your game. The fact that we're seeing such a crazy amount of dominance from Xbox Game Studios on the PlayStation storefront is just, it's mind-blowing. This is something that's been going on for a good while now. We've seen Xbox games be the most pre-ordered on the PlayStation platform. Forza Horizon 5 is obviously enjoying a lot of success now that it's on PlayStation 5. This is not just like a one and done sort of thing, like, oh, Forza Horizon 5, it broke into the top 5 on the PlayStation Store, and then the next month you don't hear nothing. There's always one Xbox published game in the top 10 on PlayStation, at least for 2025. Can you make the argument that Xbox is saving PlayStation right now? Because let's be honest, they're in the middle of a first-party drought. They're not pumping them out in the same way that they were a couple of years ago. Definitely not at the same rate that they were going in the PlayStation 4 generation. While people are waiting around for Ghost of Yotei, whatever Insomniac is working on, whatever Naughty Dog is working on, PlayStation fans have shown that they're enjoying old Xbox games in the meantime. After all of that rhetoric of Xbox has no games, PlayStation doesn't care about the games that Xbox puts out, it's a stunning reversal. Absolutely stunning. Now, to be fair, a lot of these games that are breaking into the top 10 on the PlayStation Store, they're not OG Xbox stuff. With the exception of Forza Horizon 5, they're all games that Microsoft whipped out their checkbook and bought the rights to by buying their studios and buying their publishers. Call of Duty is always going to be towards the top in these sorts of rankings. But the only thing that Xbox contributed to Call of Duty is money, not talent, not time. They bought Activision, they own Call of Duty now. Technically, Call of Duty is a first-party Xbox franchise, but really, how many people look at it like that? All of this combined means that Xbox has some serious momentum for the rest of 2025 and definitely going into 2026 for their 25th anniversary. As a reminder, in 2026, we're supposed to get some really heavy hitters coming from Xbox. Fable, Gears E-Day, possibly a new Halo game. And while yes, those games will probably come out on other platforms like PlayStation, I've honestly gotten to the point that I don't really care where people play these games because I'm really enjoying them on my Xbox and I'm enjoying the other parts of the Xbox ecosystem. I'm gonna be playing Fable on Xbox. That's where I'm gonna be. If you want to play it on PlayStation, why would I care, honestly? And for anyone who's still in denial, like, no, they would never put Halo on PlayStation. They probably are going to because of all of these numbers. It just makes sense for them. And it's not just Xbox coming out and saying, oh yeah, multi-platform, that's probably the way to go if you want to have longevity in this business. But despite the fact that Xbox exclusives aren't going to be the driving factor for me in buying an Xbox console or whenever the next Xbox or bit of hardware comes out, I'm still pretty damn excited for these next-gen Xboxes or for more partner devices like the Xbox Ally. Because Microsoft and Xbox, they're not so dependent on the console sales, they can afford to do weird, cool, innovative stuff because the majority of their business relies on driving game sales. Microsoft, Xbox, they can follow through on this promise that Phil Spencer alluded to, where he was like, yeah, I want people to buy our hardware based off of the innovation, based off of our hardware features versus the games. At first, when he said that, I was like, this is crazy because, yeah, you gotta have like some good games to back up this console. But now seeing this whole situation play out, I'm starting to think differently. All of this, of course, comes at a cost. Microsoft as a whole hit something crazy in terms of its market cap, like $4 trillion Microsoft is worth now. They're enjoying massive success, the likes of which they've never seen, and that extends to Xbox, their gaming division as well, which, great for them, but lingering in the background is, oh yeah, they just laid off a bunch of people just a couple of weeks ago. And this is something that we were kind of aware of too, because after those layoffs, Phil Spencer sent out a memo saying, thanks everyone for your hard work, thanks to people like you, we were able to enjoy a record year in Xbox, do things we couldn't imagine we'd be doing at this point in time, but yeah, you're still fired. Thanks. See you later, I guess. Go consult AI if you're having issues. So yeah, definitely something to take into account. Xbox is doing well. Fans, we're getting more games at a more consistent clip than we have in a really long time. It's important to note that it has come at a cost. Anyways, guys, that's all the Xbox stuff I have to talk about today. Thanks so much for joining me for another edition of Xbox Ready. If you made it this far into the video, consider subscribing. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.